Yeah. 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 I am here to explore something with you that many of us come to the playa to go deeper into our own freedom, into all that we can be, and how do we share all of that potential and beauty within us. And I'm hoping I'm going to do this and the slides are going to go, so we're going to see how that works, all right? So let's go through. We're going to go through a lot of the types of things I have done in my personal path. Just continue to go through it, guys. I'm sorry we don't have a clicker here. So over the last 20 years, I've done a lot of different jobs out there. I've been a guide, I've been a teacher, I've been a producer, and I've come here for the last 11 years to figure out how we can transform learning for those not only here in this space, but also those around the world, those who are farming our chocolate, those who are farming and mining the minerals we use to have this experience. Right now, there are over 100 million people on the planet who do not have access to schools, healthcare. They work, many of them, and go to the next slide actually in particular. This is a map of forced labor on this planet right now. And I want you to take a look at this a little bit later on. There are over 100 countries right now that use forced labor, many of them child labor as well. There are currently 27 million slaves on this planet. So while we are here, privileged to be a part of this amazing sharing experience, we have to remember we're absorbing it for a reason, right? Because there's a whole world out there that's never going to get to come to this magical city and experience what we're experiencing here. So if you begin to dig into what's happening in these countries, right? 27 million, right? They're making our chocolate, they're making our electronics, right? Our textiles. You can go to Africa, you can go to Mexico and see the same story, and you can go here in the US and it's happening too. Sex slavery, right? People who are denied access. It happens less here, thankfully, but we are charged to go out into the world to all of our homelands and to be able to take the beautiful experiences we have here and help others find their home, to find their path, to help figure out how they can go from being someone with a big dream to someone who can go out and change the world and make that paradigm shift happen. Right now, street kids, you don't even want to know the numbers. We're talking millions of people here, some of them here in our own cities. 90% is what the NGOs say right now. The Millennium Development Goals have set 15 different goals to hit by 2015. In the MDGs, they say everyone should get a primary school education. And now they've said, okay, we've hit 90%, we win, right? So that's like 800 million people almost who don't win yet. We're getting there, but we've got a long way to go, and we've got a 10% problem. We've got all of these slaves. We have more slavery on this planet than ever before. How did that happen? We're so enlightened. We're doing amazing things. We've got technology. We've got kinds of content. There's more free education on the web now than ever before. So why do we have so many people on the planet who don't have access? Let's keep going. This is the USA. No work, nice shoes. In Indonesia, lots of work, no shoes, right? This is what we want to get. We want to get to classrooms where there's sharing happening around the country and where people are free to learn no matter who they are, no matter where they were born, no matter if they're a male or a female, whether they're young or old. So 774 million adults currently illiterate, unable to read and write. 63% are women, almost 64%. That's almost 500 million people who don't have a smartphone in front of them yet to check Google and see what's going on. They don't get to come here yet, but we'll get there because we are here to teach them about what it means to do DIY learning, right? How many of you figured out how to do a new skill to come to the playa this year? All right. So you wired up some LEDs, you painted something cool, you made a new outfit, you tried something new, right? How many of you have shared a skill? How many of you taught someone else to do something, all right? This is how it happens, right? We teach someone how to hook up a solar panel. Next thing you know, they've got their own power system, right? The knowledge sharing that we do peer-to-peer in our communities is what allows us to thrive. And when a community is doing that well, you get this. You get this amazing, beautiful city. And when it's not happening yet, or when the tools aren't quite organized for it, we start to get chaos. So how do we get people to be self-directed and to have access, tools, and content all together? Well, let's look at the tools first. I went to a school called Singularity University. I think a few of you have heard of it. Last year, we brought together 1 million amazing people to figure out, well, it's only 80, but it feels like 1 million. We brought together people from all over the world to figure out, okay, who's got the tools? Where are they? What's missing? How do we help 1 billion people on the planet get basic access to education? I started looking at all the different spectrums, right? The nonprofits, the governments, the foundations, right? Media, they have a role too, right? We need our media to be more participatory. We need our governments to listen to us, as Manu just said, right? We need our foundations to step up and say, okay, we're going to make sure things happen for everyone. And so what happens when we start to get people participating in this experience? We create crowdsourced challenges, right? We were talking about crowdfunder, but this is just the beginning. We can solve any problem together. We can make a movie about it, put a question at the end, say, all right, we're going to solve this issue. We're going to figure out how to create energy from water, seawater. Let's do it together. Let's solve it. We can do it in a month. Could be the next game show, right? All right, let's keep going. This is Vivian. This woman is 9 years old, and she rocked my world. So I do a conference called Wisdom 2.0, and she showed up with her lemonade stand. She's decided every day for a year, she's doing lemonade until everyone on this planet is free. 9 years old. Make a Stand. So Make a Stand lemonade is now sold in stores. In under a year, she created a brand. She figured out how to align her tools, and she's now gotten it out there with a message so that everyone knows that she is going to keep on going until everyone is free on this planet, right? So her toolbox, it's got some digital stuff. She's figured out how to put together her tools. And this is what her toolbox looks like. She's got the pink nailed down. Everything's perfect. It's lined up. Doesn't matter that she's 9. She's figured out how to put it all together and put it out there so that other people can grab onto it, have a sip, make it work. Right now, if you try to learn something on the web, you are going to get a sea of content, right? You go to Google, you say, okay, I want to learn theoretical physics. You're going to get like all these MOOCs and videos and books. And how do you make sense of that? How do you begin to organize all that content? How do I get my slides to go? Maybe or maybe not. We'll figure it out. Right now, if you go to look at something at a university website, you're going to get a list of links. Get rid of that, please. We're trying to figure out how do people actually think. This is not how we think, right? Our tools are all messy right now. We don't know how to put them all together. People think holistically. We think through bodily experience. We like to come together and do things interactively. We're people smart, we're music smart, we're body smart, right? We come alive when we dance together. That's how we bond. It's not on a wiki. It's not in a list of books. Some of the most amazing inspirational experiences are in those books, but we haven't figured out how to bridge the gap between the content that's really useful and how people actually learn. But we're getting there, and this community is getting there in particular. This is the ed tech field right now. So I have an ed tech company. You got a shitload of silos here. So you've got amazing companies. You know, you guys have been to Coursera or Khan Academy. Great stuff. Really hard to figure out what's actually useful. And you have silos so that I learned something over here, but it doesn't translate over here. And I may be a doctor in my home country, but I come to the US and I'm a taxi driver. I can't translate that yet, but we can fix these problems. All the tools are there. We just haven't put them together yet. So this is what I've been working on, and this is figuring out how it all maps together. How do you create personal learning paths? How do I share with you how to be the expert in any field? How do we put together all the different content and make it work? How do I make my toolbox look more organized? How can I make it as useful and efficient as possible so that everyone on the planet can learn what they want? I don't know how many of you are understanding deeper learning patterns, if you've been exploring what's been happening. Google and a handful of others have figured out ways to move AI forward, which is great. It still doesn't think like humans yet. But we're getting there. We're getting to the place where we can learn the most that we can from machines about our own patterns. And we can take that, and then we can come together and say, wow, okay, I see that this group of people learns best on the dance floor, so we're gonna light up the dance floor together. And then let's make something, right? That's not what's happening in the classroom right now. That's not what's happening in most learning environments, but that's what we need in order to succeed in the next level. So what's in your toolbox? How have you put it together right now? Have you thought about all of the different tools you're using to put your message, your vision into the community? How are you creating? How are you tracking your progress? How are you putting all those pieces together? Because this is what I want to accomplish. I want everyone on this planet to have access to the toolkit they want, right? So that it doesn't matter what they want to learn, and it doesn't matter where they're at, that they can pick up their mobile phone and say, I'm going to do this course now. I'm going to get certified to do this now. I am going to become a professional and pursue my dreams. Because just because we get to do this doesn't mean that everyone on the planet should be able to do it too. So what does it mean to be free? We have extraordinary freedom. And what are we going to do with it? What are we here to create really? Beyond all the blinky beautiful, beyond all of the amazing relationships, what are we coming here to do together? I see amazing people in this room, brilliant, brilliant minds. And I know that you feel it. You feel that you're here for a reason, and you're finding your people. And I encourage you to dig deep. Keep digging. Think about why you're here, and then think about what kind of revolution you are here to ignite together. Malala. I know many of you have followed her story, right? She gets to go to school now. One victory at a time. There's a lot more victories to happen in this planet. There's a lot more victories to happen in this country. We have 25% dropout rate in my hometown of Los Angeles. We don't have internet access everywhere. We live in an affluent country, and yet the homeless people have to spend $2 at McDonald's in order to check their email to see if they can get a job. Why? We have the tools. We have the content. In most places, we have the access too. We've figured out most of these things. We just haven't aligned them yet. We haven't figured out how to put it all together. Keep going for me. Thank you. So Africa right now, 10% access in some countries. Moving up toward 50, where we do Africa Burns, amazing communities, South Africa. We're still looking at internet percentages in the 10 to 20%. We're not there yet. We've got balloons, we've got mesh networking, we've got a lot of potential, but we're not there yet. But I think we can get there quickly. I think by 2015, if everyone on this playa got together, everyone on this planet could have the education they want. And I charge you to figure out whether you're a tool builder, whether you've got access points, you've got content, you've got knowledge to share, figure out what it's going to take for you to give that out. This is the future of learning, right? 2010, we've seen a few things come up in wearable tech, digital computing, all of these things, but we're starting to see it all blend together so that it doesn't matter whether you're here on the playa or in Cote d'Ivoire, you can have a helmet, wearable tech with your data points, your connection points. This could be your computer. This could be a slave's computer. This could keep them safe. This could be the data access point. They could start hacking their own glass. It's already happening. It's up to us to figure out how to empower these revolutions. So tomorrow, we're going to start an experience here that hasn't happened before. We're going to do an unconference. It's called Transform Learning. And what I want you to do is think about what it is that you give, what it is that's coming out of you, that's just bursting out, that wants to be shared. Bring it out. This is why do you do what you do. Bring your best. Bring the vision. Bring what you want to share, and let's figure out how it works together. An unconference is a time when you get to come up here on this stage and share your research or facilitate a talk. And most of all, we want to write a manifesto together. We want to figure out what true learning looks like and figure out how we can transform learning together. We come here to the Playa because it's a place for divergent thinking. You can be whoever you want to be here. You can get out of your boxes. You can just way out. This is an amazing experience. And you can take that as fuel into the rest of your life. This is one thing I'm building with some of my friends from the Playa. We're building a game that teaches people how to grow food. Really simple. Plant identification, right? Figuring out, okay, how do you beat these challenges? How do we build a thrivable society together? It's on our mobile phones, right? We already have the tools. We have the access. Sugata Mitra. This gentleman at TED said, okay, we're going to make sure everyone on this planet has access to education. He did an experiment called Hole in the Wall. If you get a chance to find out more about Sugata, you're going to find out that he trusts people to figure it out. He says, all right, here's the tool. Here's a basic access. Go for it. What he found was in just over a month that groups figured it out. They didn't need a whole lot of instruction. We don't need a whole lot of instruction, right? We know what we're here to do. It's just about doing it together. Tools, access, content. The tools all exist, but they're not aligned. We need finance to come together and help that. I know at least 15 entrepreneurs in this room who've built amazing tools. Most of them are bootstrapped. They're funding themselves. They're building amazing open education resources for everyone, but they're not finding the support they need. So we need finance to come together and make that happen, make the open toolkit possible. We also need the device partners to come together. We need to make sure that people have something, a tablet, a smartphone, anything, some glass to hack, anything. And the content. The content, it's all there. You guys are creating the content. You're making the videos, right? You're making the courses, you're teaching. Think about how you can make that more global, more interactive, more participatory. Solve some real problems together. Everything that is really great and inspiring is created by the individual who can labor in freedom. Albert Einstein, I love him very much. And I see that the freedom in you is ready to burst out. So I'm not going to hold you here much longer. This is the Burning Nerd. Have you guys seen the Burning Nerd before? The Burning Nerds have been having a happy hour on Playa for many, many years. They're academics, they're researchers, people who have their PhD in Burning Man. Pretty damn cool. So tomorrow they're going to have a happy hour right over here. We're going to do the unconference, and I want to hear your visions. I want to hear your research. I want you to bring your talks. We're going to start at 10 a.m. We're going all day, and then we're having a fierce happy hour over there, okay? I want to hear how you want to transform learning. Thank you.